This is my review of The Little Mermaid 2023 starring Halle Bailey, or however you pronounce that person's name. So, The Little Mermaid is a film from Disney from the beginning of the Renaissance. It was the one that began the Renaissance in that kind of early 1980 to end of 1980s themselves. And Disney has really been, what's the word for this now? Pushing their luck with live action remakes. We've had a Beauty and the Beast live action remake. We've had an Aladdin live action remake. We've had a Lion King live action remake. We even had Mulan live action remake. Wrap your head around that one. And then, yeah, can't really remember. Oh yeah, Cinderella. We also had one of those. Now, we have The Little Mermaid. Okay, first thing. This was obviously made with a lot of passion. You could tell the crew really wanted to do this film justice. And you can tell they made it with the best intent possible. And I kind of feel that way with a lot of them. Like that the crew was very passionate about these films being made. And for this generation specifically. And that a lot of them had like fond memories of watching them when they came out. And wanted to give that down to the new generation. But the way Disney handles these films throws me off a bit. Now, I am entertained by all of them, and like if I had to rank them, it'd probably go something like. So even at the bottom, you might have The Lion King, which kind of just misses the bar, but like I still enjoy that film. Then you have like Cinderella. I'm not a big Cinderella fan. Then you have like Mulan. Like I just thought Mulan was a cool action film. And I had seen the film, which was, it was better, but it wasn't like the best thing I'd ever seen. And then you have Aladdin, which I think gets a bit underrated. I think Guy Ritchie's kind of like his stylings as a director aren't there, but like when you're put with Disney, what option do you have? And then yeah, the Little Mermaid would kind of say, oh yeah, and we also had Dumbo. Dumbo's probably actually like near the top. I just think they do something different with it. They don't try and go the musical route. Really, like it's just its own thing. Maybe I might swap that out for Lion King if I had to rank these in another video. It might be a cool idea. And yeah, like Aladdin kind of sits on top for the reason that it's clearly a bit different and not trying to be the same. Oh yeah, number one is Jungle Book. Okay, Aladdin's 2, and then you have Disney's kind of first venture into this sort of thing with the Jungle Book. So that's kind of like what my ranking would look like. And also, why Disney are you doing a Moana live action remake? You have Hercules and the rest of your Renaissance catalog. Oh yeah, and Beauty and the Beast, we also got that. So that'd probably be like just, like between Aladdin and Cinderella. I don't hate it. But like, you're fascinated with doing live action remakes. When was the last time Disney made something truly original? Without Pixar's help, without being branded with Pixar. To memory, the last time they did something truly original was with Moana. Now, some of y'all might be out there thinking, hang on, but Disney did Soul, didn't they? Yeah, but they had Pixar's help. So, like, Disney haven't really been doing anything original. In terms of the animation. They've also been doing a few films, and I don't think they really think too much about these live action remakes. Meanwhile, the crew obviously does. Now, what got me excited for this film was Rob Marshall as a director. He did Mary Poppins Returns along with Chicago, 2 films I really enjoy and think should be rated higher on some lists of best like musical movies of all time. Like, obviously, Mary Poppins one's a classic, but Mary Poppins Returns gets so close. But anyways, that 5 minute rant over. How does this stack up? The Little Mermaid is the best kind of one we've had of recent years. Is it as good as The Jungle Book? No. Is it as bad as The Lion King? No. Now, of course, The Lion King I still enjoy. Just put it at the bottom because it's shot for shot. There's not real anything changing there. But I'd probably put it like somewhere in the middle, like I was saying in my ranking there. And let's start with the good parts. First thing that this film does right is Halle Bailey, I think that's how you pronounce her name, playing Ariel, is the best of the cast here. She's obviously well versed in it. She's obviously a very well trained singer. There's a bit where it gave me goosebumps. I think it was the Part-of-Your-World reprise she does, which you hear in the trailer. She hits just this insanely high note. Well, it's not insanely high, but it's a high note. And it gave me goosebumps. Her rendition all 3 times of Part-of-Your-World. The first time, amazing. Second time, like, how did you do that? Third time was the only one that I wasn't as fond of, but it wasn't god-awful. In fact, those were probably the 3 strongest, like, ones in the film. I probably have to rethink about that. And then you have people like David Diggs, who has fame from film like Wonder, which I'd highly recommend seeing if you have not seen it. And then we also have Melissa McCarthy, who I think she's a bit underrated. Like, I like her as a comedian. I mean, she's had a few misfires. Tammy, why? But, like, I think she is having the most fun in terms of the cast. She obviously was just having a blast on set. You can tell that in the way she does Ursula. She kind of like plays her as, you know, this kind of, what's the word for it? She's very like, she's the kind of funniest interpretation of this character. Like, I've seen the musical on Disney, I've seen the musical at a local theater production, and I saw it kind of like a half professional theater production. I've never seen like the Broadway version, but like, Melissa's just having the time of her life playing this role. Javier Bardem, interesting casting choice. And then you have Awkwafina, who I think is quite funny. And we have Jacob Tremblay, also in Wonder. So it's kind of David Diggs and Jacob Tremblay reunion of sorts. And I think the cast, they kind of all bring their A game here. The guy who plays Prince Eric, I'm just going to call him John King, because I think that, I can't remember his half. It's like middle part of the name. So maybe if one of y'all can put a comments down there saying what his full name is. Not like, okay, if you went into his cast, you'll probably see the name. Anyways, I'm just going to call him John King for the moment. The guy plays Eric well, but he's obviously, this could be a bit of trouble. This film relies on him being a good actor, and he does his role fine. In fact, yeah, he does it really well. But to talk about what I have an issue with him is, I'm going to save that for the kind of negative. And, like, the film's production, you can tell a lot of them, like, are really fond of it. Rob Marshall obviously makes beautiful looking movies. Is this his best looking? No. We've had a few better looking films, but I think it's unfair for people to compare this to, like, the water graphics in Avatar 2: The Way of Water. That film that had like a $300 million budget. This had like 150, maybe 200. But like most of that went towards probably the songs and the singing. And the water isn't perfect looking, but like there's a reason Avatar 2 grossed 2 billion more worldwide, and the reason it took them 11 years to do so. So like, I don't know, just don't go in with the expectation it's going to be the best looking water you've ever seen, but like, I'll call it stylized water. It looks good for what the film's going for. It's kind of like this cartoonish water that you kind of see in like animated films, which kind of brought home that feeling. Also, Disney, you've done something good this time around. You've managed to make the characters that are different animals look realistic and emote. Now, people have issue with this, that they think they don't emote, and that's fine, but I personally disagree, because, especially with Sebastian, like, I can't really say so much about the bird character. I can't remember the name, but like, yeah, Sebastian really nails home the point that he's a talking anime crab, and they do a really good job with trying to make him look like he emotes while still looking realistic, so I'll give the film props for that. And then now we're into the negatives. Negatives of this film being, I'm going to bring up Prince Eric for a second. He gets given a song here that I think was written for the film, and we have another Pierce Brosnan, Russell Crowe, Les Mis situation here, in my opinion. So, they obviously hired the guy because he looks like Prince Eric, and that's fine. But you wrote a song for this, and you auto-tuned your actor completely. Now, I'm not saying it's fully the actor's fault, probably not. He probably came in, did the shoot, went and did a different scene. But, like, I don't know. I'm not so sure about this as a kind of song idea. I like the idea of the song, that Eric kind of wants to break away from this life he lives. There's a whole subplot that goes on about that. That's kind of mixed. It's not really a negative, it's not really a positive, because it kind of stops halfway through the film. But that song and the way it's sung just doesn't quite cut it for me. Then we have the kind of parts of the film where, could have been sped up a bit, click 2x and it probably would have gone faster. The film's too long. Even by Disney live action remake standards, it's gone too long. This film has a lot of plots going on, but not all of them need this much attention. And I don't know, I feel like Disney maybe should have put out a 2-hour and 30-minute version of this if they wanted to include all that plot stuff. Thing is, they didn't. And that's what bothers me. Because you have enough for a 2-hour and 30-minute movie. You probably have the audience. But you need to complete these plot lines and let them play out fully. And, compare this to the 90-minute film from the 1980s, and like, you just, also I got the timeline wrong, it's 1980s to 1990s, but anyways, I'll still keep that in mind. Disney just makes these things too long. Like, I kind of get it with this one, but I don't know, there's something about all the kind of weight that different subplots had, and some of them are really good, but they just don't tie up very well. Also, the other big kind of negative I have with this film is not something that's really, I don't even want to say it's probably just trying to think of it here. Oh yes, so the sisters, while they're brief and all that. That's fine. But I don't feel as if I got to know them properly as people. And this is a kind of an issue I have with the 90-minute film as well. I felt this film probably could have, separated them out a little bit more. And yeah, Javier Bardem as King Trident, he's a good actor and he does his role fine, but it's just he doesn't appear enough in scenes to make a big impression. So I'm kind of left feeling like you cast the right actor, but you didn't give him enough scenes. And I think that's where the negatives end. This is still like a 4 out of 5, being generous, film. It's a film I'd recommend seeing, but go in with the idea that's another live action remake. And I don't know, I kind of wish Disney wouldn't do a Moana live action remake. I know this is kind of off the roll a bit, but if we are going to see films like this, Disney needs to take it with a bit of grain of salt. Please don't do your most recent films. Do the ones that need updating. Like I heard there might be a Snow White one that could work. So it's just like a matter of Disney. Know what you're doing. Get the right team. Let them go off. Make it R-rated. Make it 16 rated. Like, do what you gotta do so that they get their vision across. Besides that, this is probably like a B plus film. It's not an A film. It's not an A plus film. It's just a B plus. It's a recommend. Go see it. You'll enjoy it. It's probably for kids. Well, sorry, it is for kids. But what am I even saying by that? But yeah, this is clearly targeted at kids. Flounder's quite funny in it. Sebastian's quite funny. Everyone brings their A game here. It's just a pity that the film is as long as it is, and it only kind of gets a few plot points wrapped out in full and done, while some are just left there waiting for a longer cut. I actually do wonder, is there a longer cut of this film? Because if there is, I kind of want to have access to it and see if they kind of let those plot points kind of ring out a bit more. If there isn't, fine, cool with that. But, maybe keep that in mind. There's a few plot points that don't quite tie up nicely. So yeah, that's my review of The Little Mermaid 2023. And I'll see you for my next review, which is Beau is Afraid. I was meant to review that a few days ago. Didn't get time, so that'll be the next thing to pop up here. It'll probably pop up right after this video. But yeah, that's my review of The Little Mermaid. And I also have the intention of seeing Sisu and commenting on that. So this all kind of depends on when I get to the film. Besides that, this is Darren Foreign. Try and hit the subscribe button if you can, because that goes a long way for my channel as a kind of independent channel. Like, I don't rely on sponsors, I don't rely on anything like that. I'm just relying on me going to the films and musical theater and stuff like this. So I'll try and put reviews up for here. As you might have noticed, I'm wearing some merch from musical theater production, that I will try and review when I get the chance, when kind of blockbuster season kind of grinds to a halt a bit. But yeah, hit the subscribe button, put a like if you like the film, or if you just like the video. And yeah, this is me over and out.